it out, everybody. Coach Corey here again with another video. Today I'm going to talk about the Keto Diet 101. Personally, I'm doing the keto diet now. I've been doing it off and on for the last month and a half. And what I mean by off and on, I started the keto diet right around my birthday, a little bit before my birthday. My birthday came, got off the diet, got back on the diet, and then it's just been a constant struggle back and forth. You know, I'm not gonna bullshit you. You know, there's occasional days where I'll cheat on the diet. I'll have carbs, you know, shit I'm not supposed to have. But today marks the day that I'm officially going to do a strict keto diet. I'm not gonna fucking cheat anymore. And I want to come to you guys today with the Keto Diet 101 Coach Corey style, right? So, the macros. You want to try to get at least 70% of your macros from fat. Now, that goes against everything everybody's ever taught you, right? Most of the shit you read about, it's low fat, high carb, high protein. You know, but with the keto diet, you want an exponential amount of fat, right? Now, that is not as important as getting only 5 to 10% carbs, because carbs are what determine whether you're in or out of ketosis, right? So, if you do 70% fat, 10% carbs, that leaves you with 20% protein, right? Or you can do 5% carbs and 25% protein. It's whatever you choose. Personally, I get down here, my fat ratios are 170 grams of fat, 103 grams of protein, 31 grams of total carbs. That is my macros. That's what I basically play around with. The total carbs and the net carbs are two different things. I try to shoot for less than 20 total carbs, but I allow myself up to 31 total carbs, and basically net carbs are what matters, at least in my eyes on keto, because you take sugar alcohols and you take fiber and you subtract it from your carbs. So if something has 30 carbs, has 15 sugar alcohols, 10 fiber, that leaves you with 5 net carbs. So essentially what mine is, 75% fat, 20 protein, 5% carbs. I like to stay, like I said, under 20 net carbs. My calories are 2,069 right now starting out. I factor that all in on an online calculator, and I use a written method to write down, figured it out, you know, body fat. I estimated my body fat, height, weight, all that good shit. So that's what I do. That's the macros you want to go by. So basically, like I said, net carbs are your carbohydrates minus fiber and sugar alcohols. So like erythritol, which is the sweetener that I personally use other than stevia. I use erythritol, powdered erythritol in all my recipes. It's 3 carbs. But erythritol does not count against your carbs because it doesn't spike blood sugar. Therefore, the erythritol has 0 carbs. Just like stevia, 0 carbs. You have sucralose, aspartame. I think the other one's, I can't think of the other one. They're all decent choices. I prefer erythritol or stevia. Sucralose would be my next, which is pretty down there on the list. If I have to use it, I will, but if not, I'll drink my coffee black or I'll drink my tea black. I won't use those on the regular. But let's get down to what to eat, right? A lot of people on the keto diet don't understand what to eat. They've been told that bacon's bad for you, that fatty hamburger is bad for you, that pork is bad for you, that sausage, you know, all this shit's bad for you. In reality, you want eggs, butter, fatty beef. I use 80-20 ground beef, ribeye steaks, fatty cuts of steak, fatty roasts. Put them in a crock pot. Put some spices, some herbs. Put whatever you want in there. You put some asparagus. Fuck it. Put broccoli in there. Put all green leafy vegetables in there. Fucking cook it for 18 hours, 9 hours, whatever, and you got yourself a meal. Put the roast in the crock pot. Go to work. Come back home. You're good, right? Avocado, I personally don't do it. I'm allergic, but avocado is a staple of most keto diets. Skin on chicken, when you take the skin off, you take most of the fat away, and if you want boneless, skinless chicken breast, say, you can put it in a crock pot and put some cream cheese in there, put bacon in there, you're good to go. Put it on the crock pot for 4 to 8 hours, shred that shit up, or pan fry it in some butter or olive oil or coconut oil. It's whatever you want to do. Or, make homemade fat bombs and have a boneless, skinless chicken breast with a fat bomb on the side. Or, dip it in mayonnaise or dip it in sour cream or whatever the fuck you want to do to get those fats in, right? Coconut oil. Coconut oil is a staple in my kitchen. I always use coconut oil when I have my bulletproof coffee, which is you brew your coffee. I use French press because I don't like the taste of the drip coffee pots, but if I had one, I'd probably use it because it's more convenient than having to do the French press. But I feel like French press tastes better. Tablespoon of butter. 1 to 2 tablespoons. I use a tablespoon of butter, coconut or MCT oil. Everybody prefers MCT oil. I personally don't buy it just because I don't have the money for it right now, and I just like coconut oil better. So a tablespoon of coconut oil, and then I use stevia. It's optional. You don't have to use sweetener in it. And you brew your coffee. You take that and you put it all together in a blender or use an emulsion, hand blender. And you got yourself bulletproof coffee. I use bulletproof tea, which is basically I brew green and black tea together. Make it daily. Usually a big jug of it daily. 4 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream and 2 tablespoons of stevia. Throw it with some ice in my little cup here. I'm good to go. That's how I break my fast. Right? You can have nuts sparingly, Brazil nuts, pecans, walnuts, macadamia nuts. I prefer pecans and Brazil nuts, but you can have any kind of nut sparingly. Peanuts are probably the low tier for keto. Like peanut butter is very low tier. Use almond butter or sunflower butter. Or if you're going to use peanut butter, you want to use a natural peanut butter without all the additives and shit in it, like the palm oil and shit like that. That is bad for you on keto as well as off keto, as well as it has more carbs in it than, say, sunflower butter or almond butter. Heavy whipping cream, that's obvious. I use it every day. Instead of milk, you can put, like, say, a half a tablespoon in your eggs. Most people put milk in their eggs to make them creamier, whatever. Throw 3 eggs in the skillet, mix them up, scramble them up, put them in the skillet with some heavy whipping cream, some spices. After you cook your bacon, cook that in the bacon grease, boom, you're good to go. Put some hot sauce on it, there's a keto meal for you, right? Leafy greens, throw in some spinach with your eggs, and kale, spinach, mustard greens, turnip greens, collard greens, whatever you want. Greens are very good. You want to avoid certain vegetables that have higher carbs, like carrots. Broccoli is higher carb in my opinion. I haven't eaten broccoli since I was on my bodybuilding diet back in the day. I stopped eating a lot of broccoli. I eat more spinach and kale than anything. Asparagus is good sparingly. Sour cream, cream cheese, stuff like that. Always full fat. As well as cheese. You don't want shredded cheese because with shredded cheese, they actually add starches in to keep it from sticking. If you've ever shredded your own cheese with a cheese grater or a cheese shredder or whatever, I have one of those like they use at Olive Garden, little turn wheel cheese shredder. If you ever use one of those or grate your own cheese, you'll realize that it sticks together, right? That's because when you buy packaged, the white stuff on it, that's not how it looks. That's not how normally cheese is shredded. They throw in starches with it, and that keeps it from sticking together. So when they shred it, they mix it in starches. It sticks to the cheese. It keeps it. It adds more carbs than if you shred your own cheese, or you just buy the block and you cut off chunks of it. I like Munster. I like goat cheese. I like brie. I like any kind of cheese. Mozzarella is very good. Really just look at the carbs on it and eat it sparingly. Don't eat a whole block of fucking cheese in one sitting. Have 1 or 2 ounces of it with some lunch meat. You can take and cut it up into thin slices, roll it in lunch meat, roast beef. If you're going to roll it, eat turkey or ham or something like that, that's lower fat. Eat cheese with it, or include it in something that has fat. Salami, pepperoni are very good. I like Braunschweiger. A lot of people are turned off by it, but I like Braunschweiger. You can eat organ meats like livers and hearts and brains and stuff like that on the keto diet because it's very high in fat and nutrients. So that's all the food that I would recommend that I personally eat besides the avocados. Those are just some staples. You can make certain recipes, almond flour, coconut flour. You can make shit with that. I'll get into that more in depth in further videos. So, you got your macros. You got what carbs are, what net carbs are. You got what you can eat. You got bulletproof coffee you can have. You got my bulletproof tea that I have. So how do you track? All right, I got this app that I bought on the iOS store because I use Apple, called My Net Diary. And I like it because it's simplistic. You can turn on your GPS and log if you go running, cycling, or if you're going just for a walk. I put it in every day when I go take my dog for a walk, 3.5 miles a day. And it tracks it. It factors that into your daily calories you can eat, but don't do what I do occasionally and use that as an excuse to eat more. If you have a set number of calories, try to stick to them. That's one advice I will give you. You want to start out probably when you're starting keto though at 80% fat. So 80% fat with 10% carbs, and then 10% protein, or 5% carbs and 15% protein, just because you want to get fat adapted quicker, right? If you eat less fat, it's a slower process. So you start out with the high fat, super high fat, 80%, eating half a stick of butter a day, not literally, but you know what I'm saying. Eat a lot of fat, keep your carbs super low and your protein moderate. And then as you become fat adaptive, you can start to lower the fat and up the protein a little, but keep the carbs low. Don't try to variate your carbs. Try to get yourself on a meal plan where you're gonna have, say, 10 net carbs a day. Then find a meal or find foods that can add to your 10 net carbs a day, and then have them every single day. If you like variation, then try to find different foods that you can incorporate every single day to get that variance. But me personally, I always try to get at least 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, 1 tablespoon of butter, and 4 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream in every single day. That right there is a bulk of my calories, because the 4 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream is right around 200 calories. The tablespoon of coconut oil is 160. The tablespoon of butter is 100. So that's 460 calories. That is leaving me with, what's that? 1,609 calories a day. Then I have 3 to 4 eggs a day. I have some spinach. I have usually sausage, or chorizo is another good one I didn't put up there, but chorizo, or bacon, and then I usually have a smaller meal after that, and that'll be the bulk. That'll be all my calories for the day. Now, one thing you do want to do if you're doing keto is intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is a complete different video in itself, but I explained that in my previous video on what the best diet is for fat loss. I'll link that down below or up here somewhere. I'll put a link to it. You can watch that. I break down what diets I've done, what diets I find are best for fat loss. That's pretty much it, guys. Keep your fat high, carbs low, eat good food, drink your coffee, drink your bulletproof tea. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you. Or you can email me. I think my email's down below too. Check out my website for more insightful shit. Catch you guys next time. Done.